We've got to talk about the one story that's dominating Merseyside in the papers. We've seen it over the last few days. Could this man be heading out of Anfield?
Jordan Henderson, born on Wearside, a Liverpool legend now, joining the ranks of Hughes, Thompson, Souness and Gerrard as he takes the European Cup, looks at his players and lifts it to the Madrid night sky.
Reports this week say that talks between Jordan Henderson's representatives and Liverpool have stalled. Discussions took place before the Euros. They couldn't come to an agreement, and since then it's all gone a little bit quiet. 31 years old. He's still got a couple of years left, Jermaine, on his contract at Liverpool. But in terms of what Jordan Henderson brings to the Liverpool side, how concerning is it that we are talking about his future and his future being perhaps away from Liverpool?
Yeah, it's a big concern. You know the impacts of losing Virgil van Dijk had on Liverpool, and you don't know what's around the corner, what kind of injuries you're going to sustain. And a player like Jordan is massive, so to lose someone like that would be a bigger blow for Liverpool. But, saying that he's got a couple of years left on his contract, hence why Liverpool are not in no rush. It will be Jordan's representative who will want to get a deal done. Hence he's 31 and tie the latter years of his career. So it's Liverpool like, look, you've got a couple of years. We can hold out here, put, under a bit of pressure and play the waiting game. There's no rush for Liverpool. But in my eye, I don't think they will let a player like Jordan go from Liverpool for to be around the club and what he can bring on and off the pitch. He's been a great leader. He's had to fill one of the best midfielders that Liverpool and England's ever seen in Steven Gerrard, and he's done that fantastic to win the league, which Steven never did, and the Champions League. So all the cups that you can think of, Jordan's won there. So he's a legend at Liverpool, and he's an important part of Liverpool. And I don't think there should be concern. Yes, concern hearing the news of it's stalled, but it's all at the minute, cat and mouse, and you got years, and we'll see it out for a while.
It's the club I think that you played the most for, isn't it?
Yes,
most appearances.
Yes, it was, especially the first year. I think it was only Pepe Reina who played more games in that season. 51. I think it was. So the most games,
Yeah, and because obviously you had a number of injuries, and Jordan's had that, the intensity of the game. I mean, without a doubt, it's quickened up in recent years. You just look at the speed of every player. Every winger's quick, and I mean, for a winger now to be, like yourself, to come up against fullbacks, every fullback's lightning quick. Yeah,
it's definitely evolved, and gone forward a lot. I'd have hated it now. I might have tracked him back if I'd have done. You'd have got 45 minutes out of me.
But it is interesting, you mentioned the fact that he's still got 2 years left on his contract. There's no panic buttons being pressed just now. But the fact that it's in the papers now, the fact that the story is somehow emerging, is that an issue that maybe either Liverpool or Jordan Henderson won't want to be out there?
Nat, sometimes stories come out of nowhere and you just have to go with it. I don't believe Jordan would see anywhere else but Liverpool. He's, when you win major competitions at a football club, you're pretty much, United had this for years, that when they had experienced players and they were winning things, no one really wants to leave winning clubs. Yeah. It's hard to leave. You think, well, I've got a great manager. I love playing for this football club. I'm enjoying so you don't really feel, it's not, and especially, being an English player, and he's playing for an English club, it's slightly different.
Well, the papers were saying yesterday that the reason it's stalled is because his representatives are suggesting they want Liverpool to show their appreciation to Jordan Henderson, whether that's through monetary reasons or for the length of a new contract. And Cass, really interesting point that you've made there about he's at a club that wins trophies. Now, he's been linked recently with Arsenal, one of your former clubs, Jermaine. Could you actually see that happening for Jordan Henderson, leaving a club like Liverpool, who you say he's delivered the Premier League title, he's won the Champions League with them, he's won so many different trophies, going to a side, unfortunately, right now, who aren't really competing? No,
they're on the rebuild. Is he gonna? He ain't got that time. On his side to be right. Yeah, okay, I can see what you're doing here. You're going to rebuild in the next 3 or 4 years. You're going to be challenging. He ain't got that time on his hands, so I cannot see him wanting to leave Liverpool. It's just is it a matter of more years on the contract, or is it the wages? But then coming to your latter stages of your career, the money will start slowly declining. So it's all about now, I feel, it's just a compromise with both clubs and to get that middle ground. And, you know, there is a lot of time and a lot of discussion still to be had. So there's no worries. But he's not going to want to leave Liverpool. You know, having to win so much and being such a big part of them. You know, where is he really going to go? It's going to be limited, and he's not going to want to be fighting and you know, middle table and that. So,
no,
you know, he's not going to want him to believe at all.
And as Jermaine will know, is sometimes it comes down to what the manager thinks. If the manager thinks, I want to bring another one in, I might be prepared to do this deal and let someone go. If Klopp wants him, and I'm sure he does, he will let him know quite clearly, I want you here. You stay here, and we'll find a solution along the way.
And I know it's a different situation.
They have the call. Big managers, you know, of his position have the call.
Yeah.
You know, on what ins and outs are.
Of course. And it's a different situation because Gini Wijnaldum came to the end of his Liverpool contract. But when you've already lost him as an experienced midfielder, okay, yes, Henderson still has 2 years left on his deal. It's another big, experienced, established player that you could be losing if you don't get something sorted soon. But anyway, as we say, it's not panic buttons yet for Henderson and Liverpool.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.